Welcome to Neighborhood Niches. I'm your host, Susan Kennedy. As you can see, we're in Olney, a small community in the eastern part of Montgomery County. We're going to show you a few of the niches that make this community special. But before we do, a brief history of what was once a sleepy little town. Originally known as Mechanicsville, the village of Olney was established in 1800. Once a quiet village consisting mainly of farmland, today Olney is a well-established residential town that has earned national recognition over the years. The community encompasses about 16 square miles. There are just over 35,000 residents in Olney, and the average age of the Olney resident is 40. The median household income is $125,000, and the average price of a home in Olney will run you about $500,000. Olney has 8 elementary schools, 6 middle schools, and 2 high schools. 5 of those schools fall under Montgomery County Public Schools, and the rest are private. It's home to 1 hospital, a brand new library, and the popular swim center. There are 4 major grocery stores within walking distance of one another, and Olney has one of the most active boys and girls clubs in the nation. The club was instrumental in fundraising for a community park that consists of a dozen fields that serve close to 50,000 children. But one niche that is especially popular among residents is the Olney Theatre. One of 2 state theaters in Maryland, it's located on 14 acres just off Olney Sandy Spring Road. Founded in 1938 on the site of a former roller rink, the Olney Theatre offers a wide variety of professional productions year-round. And some of the biggest names in theater and film have appeared on stage at the Olney Theatre, including Helen Hayes, Roy Scheider, and Burl Ives. Even a young Nancy Reagan graced the stage of the Olney Theatre.
It's a staple of this community. Originally, Olney Theatre was a summer stock theater. So Broadway performers in the summertime would leave the New York stages when they would shut down, and they would travel around on the summer stock circuit. So people on this stage, Grace included Olivia de Havilland. Ian McKellen did a one-man show here, and in fact helped to pay for some air conditioning on some of our rooms that we currently have. This is a place where it is rich in theatrical history.
In 2005, the Olney Theatre opened its new main stage theater with stadium seating for 429 and advanced technical capabilities. Jason Jones says the theater is an integral part in the cultural fabric of this eastern Montgomery County community.
Olney's such a great place to live and to work. We have a variety of programming, whether you want theater that you can bring your kids to, like I do, or brand new cutting edge drama that you leave your kids at home, like I do, to see that, or classic plays. And we're based here in Olney. So from this location, we actually reach hundreds of thousands of people a year.
An Olney institution, Montgomery General Hospital, got its start in 1920 during the height of a flu epidemic. The first acute care hospital in the county, Montgomery General, was founded by Dr. Jacob Bird, a physician who began treating patients in this area in 1909. When it first opened, the hospital housed 28 beds. Today, it has grown to more than 5 times that size. The next niche on the list, the Olney Ale House. Originally built in 1924, this restaurant at the corner of Dr. Bird Road and Route 108 has been a popular spot for decades. It started as a produce shop and then a restaurant that was first known as the Corner Cupboard. The bungalow stayed open only from spring to fall because it had no heat. It became the Ale House in 1973, and John Roach is the second owner.
A lot of our customers started coming with their parents who came with their parents. Because of the theater across the street, we get a lot of distinguished people. We've had 3 presidents over the years. Actually only 2 presidents, because Eisenhower was merely a 5-star general when he was here, but we're still proud of his attendance.
The building itself still has an old world feeling about it with its wood walls and stone hearth fireplace, making it quaint yet rustic. Famous for its beef stew and homemade bread, the Olney Ale House is also known to serve up plenty of friendliness to the customers.
The community has changed considerably over the last number of years. When I started coming out 40 years ago, a lot of the people were raising cattle and corn that were driving up and down the street. Now they own all the real estate, so they're doing pretty well. And now there's a lot of CEOs and executive types that live out here in these big houses that are being built. And but we try and keep it the same. We try to keep it comfort food in a very comfortable place, kind of a home away from home.
Olney is an awesome young community with young families, great activities, lots of sports, good schools, Montgomery County, affordable compared to some of the other places in Montgomery County.
If you're going to be a Montgomery County resident, this is a good place to live. It still has a country feel, but there's a lot of amenities out here. There's nice restaurants. It's still an easy place to get around. The schools are good. So in that respect, yes, we're still very, very pleased with living in Olney.
I think the sense of place, the sense of really ownership of the community, the residents there take such pride in Olney that, you know, it is just, all you have to do is just spend a little bit of time and you feel it.
Our final niche in this neighborhood is the Olney Farmers Market. The brainchild of Janet Terry, this year-round venue located on the grounds of MedStar Montgomery Hospital started with just 8 vendors. Now 10 years and more than 250,000 visitors later, the Olney Farmers Market has a huge network of local farmers and artisans.
It's become a really great venue for young musicians, as well as people who want to start businesses. You know, they make beautiful jewelry. This is the venue that they have now. Before this, you know, they might have made fabulous stuff, but it was just in their house. Now it's here.
When we come back, we'll visit a Montgomery County neighborhood that's frequently voted the most charming.
I think it's all about effectiveness and customer service.
Cricket has been played for a really long time in this county and in the DC metro area.
We certainly go back a ways,
right?
All the way back to young Dems.
Right.
Welcome back to Neighborhood Niches. Well, if you're looking for a charismatic, unpretentious neighborhood where residents know one another by name, Garrett Park might just be the place for you. Founded in the mid-1880s by businessman Henry Kopp, the town was originally envisioned as a summer getaway for Washingtonians. He purchased 500 acres bordered by Rock Creek Park and the B&O Railroad. Garrett Park was incorporated in 1898 after the arrival in 1893 of a Baltimore and Ohio Railroad station. The town was named for Robert Garrett, a former president of the B&O. Garrett Park was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1975. In 1977, the town declared itself an arboretum. The entire town encompasses just over a quarter mile, and there are about 380 households. There are around 1,000 residents in Garrett Park, and the median income for a family is $126,000. The median age for a Garrett Park resident is 45, and there are 3 county schools that serve Garrett Park: Garrett Park Elementary, Tilden Middle, and Walter Johnson High School. Peter Benjamin is currently serving his 5th consecutive term as mayor of Garrett Park. He says the town is made up of folks from all walks of life.
There is no average resident. We have largely families, but not exclusively. What we do have in the town also is multi-generational families. So, for instance, on my block, there is across the street a person who grew up in our town. His parents live at the end of the street, and he has kids now, and very soon he's probably going to have grandkids. So we very often have multiple generations.
Council President Nancy Florine and her family moved to Garrett Park 25 years ago. She also served as mayor from 2000 to 2002, overseeing the renovation of Penn Place and a street lighting program.
We've just fell in love with the community, its trees, its sense, its spirit, and it was really convenient. So there's the MARC train that comes right through town. You can walk to the Grosvenor Metro Station. The library is a very short hike. There, retail very close by. It's a really convenient place. And what I really like is there's a really nice range of incomes here. It's not a really wealthy community by any means, nor is it, it's affordable for young families, so we've got a lot of kids coming through the community at the same time.
Scattered among the Victorian and colonial-style homes in Garrett Park are dozens of bungalows named for a car. 45 Chevy houses were built in the 1920s, each designed with 1 or 2 small bedrooms, a Pullman kitchen, and a Murphy bed in the living room. The homes were called Chevy houses because their owners could add a garage and a Chevrolet to the mortgage. Today, the Chevy houses in Garrett Park have prestige. Many have been renovated but remained an integral part of the community's history. Now on to probably the best-known niche in Garrett Park. Penn Place is home to the office of the mayor, Black Market Bistro, and the post office, which is more than just a place where the mail is stored. In Garrett Park, residents have fought home mail delivery. To them, going to the post office to pick up the mail is a social activity.
It's really important to us that you know your neighbor. You are standing right now just above our post office. It's the Garrett Park Post Office. The Garrett Park Post Office has existed, again, for over 100 years. There is no home mail delivery in Garrett Park, and not because the post office doesn't want to do that, because it's cheaper and easier for them to do that.
Not too much.
It's because Garrett Park wants to have everybody come here to get their mail, which they get from the little post office boxes, and meet their neighbors.
But picking up the mail isn't the only action in town. Garrett Park has a swim club, a 4th of July parade, hosts a reception for newcomers, and art shows on a regular basis. The mayor and council, who are elected and serve on a volunteer basis, meet at least once a month in the town hall, which was once a chapel built in 1897. Spending a day in Garrett Park can feel like a step back in time to simpler days.
We want to be a community, we want to be different, we want to be a haven.
Bit by bit, of course, suburbia surrounded it, but the town retained its own character. And it was an early municipality, and because of that, it was able to establish some rules and guidelines for how this small little community could stay the way it was.
A lot more expensive for families, but for just one person.
Garrett Park has a large senior population, and the Neighbors Helping Neighbors Committee meets once a month to talk about what they can do to help those residents age in place.
Most of us have in mind that we want to end our days in Garrett Park, so in that case, it's important for there to be services for the older people. For example, one service is we have a list of Garrett Parkers who are willing to run errands for the older people, take them to the doctor or to the grocery store or whatever. And this list of people, they're very willing to do this kind of thing.
While you won't find any malls, convention centers, or busy roads in Garrett Park, you will find an artistic, eclectic, friendly neighborhood that gives new meaning to the word community.
This is my home, that's for sure.
Well, as you can see, here in Garrett Park and in Olney, there are plenty of things to do and see for all ages and stages in life. Well, that's all we have time for, but maybe next edition will be in your neighborhood. I'm Susan Kennedy. Thanks for watching.